Good evening and thank you for joining us. Carly, I guess you could say CKSA season kind of in the home stretch at this point.
Yes, this really is crunch time for all the drivers and the outriders, and we meet a very fascinating driver tonight who cares an awful lot about the horses in his outfit.
Looking forward to that. Shauna, what are we looking forward to in the weather forecast? Good long weekend, I hope.
Yes, and I think summer has finally arrived weather-wise here in the border.
It's almost August.
I know, but hey, better late than never. As we take a look now across Lloydminster, we're sitting at 21 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. How does that compare to the Lakeland and the Battlefords? Clouds are starting to build up in those areas. There is a system going to be moving through. I'll have more on that and what it means to us here coming up a little later on.
2 years have passed since a plow wind ripped through the big Valley Jamboree in Camrose, injuring several people and killing Lloydminster resident Donna Moore. Now, almost 3 dozen charges have been laid in connection with the incident under provincial health and safety legislation. One company has been charged with failing to ensure that equipment could withstand various stresses. Moore died when scaffolding and a giant speaker came crashing down. A lawsuit on behalf of her children was filed last week. With summer into full swing and peer pressure as prevalent as ever, adolescent underage drinking is an ongoing concern for parents. A new study in the Journal of Studies on Alcohol and Drugs debunks the theory that parents should supervise their underage kids' drinking. Robert Buffum has the local reaction to this report.
Adolescent drinking is obviously nothing new. In fact, scenes of out-of-control binge boozing are a staple in many teen angst movies.
Hell, he's 3 sheets to the wind.
What is new? Some attitudes about controlling this behavior.
Come on, go!
A recently issued report argues that the popular point of view that parents should supervise underage drinkers is actually a destructive one.
European has higher rates.
This psychologist says the report's finding is no surprise.
No amount of alcohol consumption is safe on a young brain.
Notwithstanding his stance, there were mixed reactions locally.
Probably no alcohol is the best policy, so you're condoning them to drink if you actually help them.
I totally disagree on them not drinking, because if you do not let them do it at home, they're going to go somewhere else and do it.
I think it's better to supervise them because they're just going to sneak out and do it anyway and probably drink too much.
If it's something hidden and whatnot, then the child's just going to go ahead and abuse it and then go behind the parent's back.
Wilhelm admits most research supports parents supervising 15 or 16-year-olds drinking.
If you try and do a totalitarian type of approach to dealing with drinking, you're probably just going to drive it underground or drive it out into the parks or into the streets or that kind of thing.
But he says the adverse impact of alcohol on brains as young as 13 should be non-negotiable.
Really, all the underlying research tells us that supervision, while it may be an appropriate thing for fostering pro-social alcohol consumption patterns, when you're looking at kids that age, it's not a good thing.
Robert Buffum, Newcap News.
After a week of renovations, the Lloydminster Public Library is back in action. The renovation isn't completely done, with only a couple of minor things still to be finished.
Plans have mostly come together. We're behind in a couple of areas, staff areas, that we're going to be spending the next day or so putting back together. But almost all the public areas are done, everything from our family-friendly washroom to our completely rearranged children's picture book area.
The children's area has been opened up, making more room for chairs and other picture books. They also moved all the children's books into the same area.
The ability to pull all of our kids' stuff together in one area, I think will go well. It's only been the first hour that we've been open, but people found their way to what they wanted, and they seem to be enjoying themselves, and that's what we wanted.
The library has now relocated close to 30,000 books and is also looking at making a move to a larger facility in the future. The official border between Alberta and Saskatchewan is starting to look a little different. After years of a chipped and painted sidewalk, the city has started a renovation. Crews are working night and day to get the job done as soon as possible. One block has already been completed.
The contractor's been working very diligently. We're really happy with the work that they've been completing. These guys have been out here sometimes, till 2, 3 in the morning. Had a lot of weather issues to contend with, but if all goes well, we should be done kind of within the next 3 to 4 week time frame.
The former markings have taken a lot of wear and tear over the past few years, and when the city got the chance to clean them up, they jumped on the opportunity.
We did a pilot project at the corner of 50th Street and 50th Avenue last fall, and it worked fantastically well, and so we decided to implement it throughout the full 4 blocks.
The project will cost around $150,000 to complete. Well, drug use is a problem that some families know all too well. Suffering a tragic loss with drugs being a root cause forced one man to take a stand. He, along with several others, will be hitting the road in a couple of weeks, biking from Edmonton to Lloydminster in the Ride On Against Drugs fundraiser. Jack Haskins brings us the story.
Hamburgers, hot dogs, barbecue!
Dave Recklow came up with the idea to wage his war on drugs when a preventable death took place within his family.
We had one of our members in our distant family that he got tangled up with some street drugs that he shouldn't have been playing with. He ended up dead. And it's just such a waste seeing young kids die.
This is the third year of his fundraising campaign. Recklow is expecting even more people to be riding with him this time around.
And we're going to ride all the way from there back to Lloydminster, 2 days. We're camping overnight in Innisfree, I believe it is, and we're going to just get out there, rain or shine, we go.
The money will go towards the Thorpe Recovery Centre, which provides numerous drug treatment programs.
They're really important. We have a new building going up just outside of town, so we want to raise some funds towards that. And also a lot of the programming that we have going on requires a lot of money. So as much as we can get, and we're going to do everything we can to make it as easy to donate as we possibly can.
Recklow raised around $25,000 over the last 2 years, and he has high hopes for this year. He says that every little bit helps.
On August 13th, the cyclists are going to be leaving Edmonton, and the very next day at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we hope to have a bunch of tired but happy fundraisers coming to this parking lot for their wrap-up barbecue. Jack Haskins, Newcap News.